Behold, the flashlight to rule all flashlights. In this handsome carrying case lies the Olight Marauder Mini2. So huge shout out to Olight. They reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in reviewing this Olight Marauder Mini2. And of course I said yes, because I am a huge Olight fanboy. This is my Olight Warrior Mini2, my everyday carry. I have many Olights, but this one is the brightest. So let's take a look inside this beautiful hard shell, handsome carrying case is the Olight Marauder Mini2. What a beautiful display. This is awesome. So first you got this README thing. It says unscrew the cap, take the battery out, and since I'm a battery nerd, let's do that. There's a part that's going to be on the bottom and on the top, so make sure you take this all the way out. And we're greeted with a 32650 7500 milliamp hour lithium polymer battery that goes right in there, just like that. And we have an extremely powerful flashlight. Look at that guy. Look at that. Just look at that. Look at all those LEDs. We're going to get into that in a minute. But then we have this handsome wrist strap that is not only a handsome wrist strap, nay, watch this. You push these little tabs here, and this is a USB-C to USB-C charging cable, so we can charge this with USB-C. I find we get up to 12 watts of charging. Takes about 3.5 hours to charge it when it's completely drained. So we have the standard Olight proprietary magnetic thing here, but then we also have this little switch where we can insert our USB-C to charge the flashlight. Thank God Olight is finally putting USB-Cs on their flashlights so we can charge them. When we're done charging, we simply put this back in the case. We hear 2 clicks, there's little tabs there, and now we're good to go. We're also presented with a user manual, and that's it. That's all we get in the box. So let's take a walk around this Olight Marauder Mini2, and I'll tell you all about it. So first we'll show you the spec page. Go ahead and feel free to pause the video if you want to read more about this. But basically, the skinny is we have a floodlight that gives us up to 10,000 lumens. We have a spotlight that gives us up to 1,350 lumens. We have a spotlight and floodlight that gives us up to 8,000 lumens. We have a red light that gives us up to 400 lumens. And we have a little side light that gives us up to 200 lumens. Now, let's get to the good stuff. On the top, we have 12 LEDs around the outside perimeter. These 5 and these 5 are our floodlight. These 2 are our red lights. And then way down there in the center, you can see that yellow guy. That's our spotlight. And there is a convex lens for aiming the spotlight. Then we have this kind of knurled ring around the outer side for, well, use your imagination for that. Coming down, we've got some presumably cooling fins. This actually doesn't get very hot. I left this on just when I was sitting at the couch watching TV, and I just had this on my table. And about 115, 117 degrees was the hottest this ever got, with both the floodlight and the spotlight on. So trying to give it as much power as possible to get it hot. On the outside ring, we have this little LED light here, and this little guy is like just for shining down on the table. Give you a little work light there to see. So that's pretty cool. And then we have this button that is not only a button, but it spins. So this is how you can see these lights there. That's how we're going to adjust the brightness down from moonlight all the way up to turbo. And then we have a 4-segmented LED there that's going to show us the battery status. So 4-segmented there. Then we've got this little toggle switch here. All metal. Everything on here is metal. It's fantastically built. So this is going to switch between the little LED, the front light, or the red lights. And I'll show you that in a second. Then we have this very nice, comfortable handle. Like it feels really good in the hand. Okay, it's just a good size, but it's heavy. It's got It's got some heft to it. Then we have this switch here that is actually a 3-position switch. So up front, we're gonna have, we'll go ahead and turn this on. We're gonna have our floodlight, or excuse me, our spotlight. If we put this in the middle, and they're detented, so it's very easy to throw this switch. Now we have the floodlight and the spotlight. And if we flip this switch all the way to the bottom, now we just have the floodlight. So in any one of these states here, let's just go back up to the spotlight there, okay? If we flip the switch to the right, that guy, now we have our red LEDs, okay, for night vision, so you don't have to destroy your night vision. Put it back in the center. That's gonna be the front white lights, if you will. So we'll throw this switch here. That's the flood and the spotlight there. And then if we flip the switch all the way down, now it's just flood. Very, very easy to use. And then if we flip this switch all the way to the left, that gives us this little guy. And they're all controllable, all by this little knob. Now, a safety feature they have built in here that's kind of interesting is after 10 seconds of not being used, the flashlight's gonna lock itself, and I actually like that, so it doesn't just turn on. So you can do one of two things. By default, out of the box, it's gonna come where you just have to turn this dial, okay? And then you can press the light and it'll go on. Now, per the instructions, they say you can change that, and I'm having a dickens of a time doing that. So they say you can change it to just press the on-off button, hold it in for a second to unlock it. Well, that ain't working for me. So they're showing you gotta connect one of the Olight proprietary chargers that does not come with it. And then you have this switch all the way into the spotlight position. And then you press this button 15 times. And it says something's supposed to blink. Ain't nothing working for me. But is this supposed to be plugged in? Is it supposed to be unplugged? I don't know. Did I try it both ways? Yes. Did I get it to change? No. So I don't know what the deal is there. I don't really mind just turning this to unlock it, but some people might prefer to just long press it for a second to have it turn on. So not sure what I'm doing there. But, and then again, we have the base here that has our regular Olight magnetic charger. And then we have our USB-C port. So very, very cool. Now, as far as operating it, if you're familiar with Olights, you're gonna feel right at home with this. This is gonna have the same kind of functionality in terms of moonlight mode, turbo mode, etc. So we're gonna unlock it by rotating the wheel there. And if we wanna go into moonlight mode, when it's unlocked, we just press this for 2 seconds. And now we're in moonlight mode, okay? And then we can adjust with the wheel. We can turn it off. We can do anything we want. If we want to get into strobe, so strobe warning, okay, all you strobe people, look away. If we triple press this from the off position, now we have a strobe light. Turn it off, it's off. Okay, strobe people, you can look back now, okay? But if we want to go from the off position to full turbo mode, we double press, and now we're in full turbo mode, either way. Double press again, we're back to kind of maximum brightness, but not turbo. And again, we can adjust all of our settings right with this little wheel here. This light is so darn cool, and it is so incredibly bright, which is what I care about, you know. How bright's your flashlight? So, having said that, let's go out into the dark of night. We're gonna go out to Huntsville State Park, and we're gonna shine this clear across the lake and all kinds of other places so I can really show off all of the different features of this light. So I'll see you there. All right, we're just at the entrance to Huntsville State Park. We've got kind of a straightaway ahead of us. Go ahead and turn the spotlight on. It's on low now. Now gradually increase it. Look at this. There's one going up in intensity, and there's max. Look at that. It just lights up the whole area. Now, there's the flood. Good Lord, it just lit up the whole area. I mean, it just turned it into day. And then we can also turn the flood and the spotlight on, and it looks like that. There's the red light. That's full power on the red light. How cool is that? But now I want to go where we can see even further. Now we're overlooking the lake, and straight ahead per Google Maps is almost 1,600 feet or 485 meters away. Here's the spotlight on full blast. And you probably can't see it as well on camera, but directly in the center of the beam, there's actually a picnic bench right there that I will hike to sometimes, overlooking the water there. And it's just totally illuminating that. You can see it's getting all the trees all the way across the lake there. If we go into flood mode, it just fills up this whole area. It's a little hazy out tonight. And then there is the flood and the spotlight there. Man, I mean, it's a lightsaber. Look at that. If I had a cover for this lens, you could legit put the bat signal out with this thing. It is absolutely incredible how powerful this is. Look at that. How cool, huh? That is a bright frickin' light. You can even see into the tree line by bouncing the light off of the water. This light is bright. You can even see into the water. That's with the floodlight on, full blast. Put it on spotlight there. You know, find your missing car keys in that maybe. There's the red light again on full blast. You can dim it. Fantastic. Need to light up your campground? Well, you can do that too. Look at that. Just absolutely amazingly bright light. And here it is with the small side LED on, kind of just a little helpful light to kind of just light up a little spot. It works better if it's a little elevated on the table here. You can see it doesn't really light up the whole table, but it does a nice enough job to get you a little bit of light there if you're out in the dark and you need it. Or over here there's a grill, so maybe you're outside grilling, you can set the light there, you can actually see what you're doing. Man, how cool is that? Just a tiny little LED on there. Spotlight, floodlight, spotlight, floodlight. I mean, it's like daytime out here. It literally lights this whole place up. No light, all the light in the world. You want to find somebody right there? Well, there they are. Did you lose something up in a tree maybe? Well, you can see that too. There's the flood, there's the spotlight, there's both. Man, this thing is wicked cool. All the way down the street. But it's not always about the maximum setting. What are these other settings? Here's the red light. This is on the lowest setting here. We can increase this. Maybe you're just going for a walk. Maybe you just want a safety light. You know? Cool. There's the floodlight. That's the lowest setting on the floodlight there. And gradually increase it. Have a nice bit of illumination here. Looks a little brighter on camera than it does in real life. But that's just on the lowest setting there. And as we increase it, get brighter and brighter. Let's go to the flood and spotlight there. There it is on the lowest setting. You can raise that up a little bit. Do whatever you want. Or maybe we just want the spotlight. There's the spotlight on low. Raise it up a little bit. Still really bright. And there's the floodlight again. That's great. I really like the functionality and the layout of all of the buttons. It's very, very easy to control without looking at anything. You can easily go to the red light just by flipping the switch, adjust the brightness, go to the floodlight or the spotlight or both, whatever. It's a very, very easy flashlight to control. I actually kind of prefer this over Olight's kind of standard method of single pressing or double pressing, triple pressing the button. This is just so intuitive. Your finger, your thumb, just knows where to go. It's really, really cool. So there we have it. That is our review of the Olight Marauder Mini2. Pretty darn cool flashlight if you ask me. I will leave the obligatory Amazon affiliate link in the description should you decide to pick one of these up. And until next time, my name is Mike K at MRD. Thanks for watching Ham Radio Tube 73.